Horrors found on school laptops. I see this.
November 2009.
2009? Y'all had school laptops in 2009? Holy ballers. We had none of that shit. We had none of that shit. Yeah, the title of the video is Horrors Found on School Laptops. School laptops 2009? Yo, school was balling.
A 10th grader is called into the assistant vice principal's office shortly after arriving at school. Butterflies flutter inside him. It's clear the authority figure currently staring him down is upset over something. She accuses him of, quote, improper behavior. He doesn't know what she's talking about. The school official slides a photo across the table, asking the boy to explain it.
Oh, you know bro, you know you fucked up when they wouldn't even talk about what you did. You would have to explain, yo, that's when you knew when the room was too quiet. I'd rather a teacher yell at me than say, explain what you did. And everybody's quiet. And you know that type of quiet where you gotta start thinking. Your brain is on max trying to figure out what's going on. Bro, I hate that shit. Because that's when you know you truly fucked up. Even like our parents would do it sometime. Like if you think about it, if you know you fucked up when they're too quiet. They silence of like I'm disappointed, and they silence like, yo, you fucked up. Yo, one of the worst ones.
He picks it up. It's him. In his bedroom at home. He's never seen this before. Wait, how did the school get a hold of this picture? And who even took it in the first place? This single interaction would result in a snowballing series of horrifying discoveries about the nature of this school district's student laptop program. The first case of its kind. But unfortunately, not the last.
I see it. I saw right through his script. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not the last.
Also, to understand this case,
spyware turned this Kansas high school into a red zone of dystopian surveillance. So they're taking these laptops home. Yeah, I mean, I would assume, I don't know what year this specific one is. Damn, bro. And this is before a lot of laws were taken seriously. This is crazy.
We need to learn about where it takes place. Our story starts 12 miles outside downtown Philadelphia, in the sleepy suburb of Lower Merion. Home to just over 63,000 residents, Lower Merion's urban landscape looks much like the sorts of neighborhoods.
Ooh, that's a nice house. Oh my gosh. That's a nice, yo.
Everything from grand Tudor and colonial revivals to menacingly large McMansions dotting the winding tree-lined residential streets.
What's a McMansion?
It gives an air of money. And indeed, the people who call Lower Merion home seem to have a lot of it. In 2007, the average family income for the area was $148,000.
2007? Yo, you were balling. 2007, you were balling. 148,000? You were balling 2007.
Just under 3 times the national average of the United States.
That's crazy.
It's no surprise then that in the only Western country where public schooling is mostly funded on a local level, that schools in an area like Lower Merion are exceptionally well provided for, with as much as $32,000 being spent per student per year in the district.
I guess this is how they got the laptops.
Some of that money would go to a new program. One that sought to purchase laptops that students could use to complete their work in a more real-world professional way, and to just enhance the academic experience overall. This was something of a trend in the late 2000s, and if you're the same age as me, you'll no doubt remember antiquated computer labs with their rows of off-white CRT monitors slowly being exchanged for carts containing racks of laptops that teachers could just wheel out for their students whenever they needed them. My memories of this time mostly consist of chunky Toshiba laptops that were somehow slower than they looked, and you could only really use them during class when the teacher would hand one to you, with the only exception being when you would check one out of the library to use during study hall or something. this was certainly not how it worked in Lower Marion. No, these students weren't using thick Toshibas, they were using MacBooks. Moreover, it wasn't just an in-school replacement for a computer lab. These MacBooks were distributed to students under a one-to-one program, meaning each and every student would have a single laptop that would be theirs full-time, even bringing them home with them after school. I'm sure many
that
of you
school
watching who are still attending
was
school
actually
past
balling.
2015 likely remember receiving a Chromebook that you could use at home under a
Yeah, this is
similar
what I
one-to-one
know.
program. But this wasn't nearly as common of a thing in the late 2000s. The Lower Marion School District was truly ahead of the curve with this. Being the trailblazers they were, the school district didn't really have any set precedents to follow when it came to policing the use and misuse of these school devices. You can keep an eye on what somebody is doing with school property in school, but how are you supposed to do that once they're at home? The Lower Marion School District is one of the most well-funded public school programs in the country, but MacBooks are expensive no matter where you live in the world, and school officials weren't just about to leave them to the mercy of their teenage owners. To potentially mitigate the issue of liability, the school district purchased a piece of software called LANREV, a systems lifecycle management software. In plain English, IT administrators can use this kind of software to manage many different computers at the same time, automatically installing software and copying and deleting data on multiple machines simultaneously. Another key part of these IT management solutions are security and tracking features, some of them amounting to purposeful spyware that logs what users are doing and then
Why do I
reports it back
feel
to
like
IT
this is heading to an ad?
LANREV in particular had a feature called TheftTrack, which was designed
Y'all ever get like, I hate when YouTubers like write their script in a way that they can put their ad in like as part of the script. I hate that shit. But if you're gonna give me an ad, just give me an ad raw. Like, you know what I'm saying, I don't want no filtered thing. I don't want no nonsense. Just give me the raw ad so I can see that it's an ad. But like, as this person was talking about security or nothing, I swear on my life I was gonna be like, if there's a fucking VPN ad in this bitch, bro, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was feeling. That's why I hate those type of script or people who write those type of scripts. Like, why? Just give me that. It doesn't make me want to stay for longer. And I do understand there are like I've seen some comments of people like saying, oh, that's a slick ad placement. But I don't know if they're getting encouraged from these people. Personally, it does not make me stay. Like, it doesn't make me want to buy the thing. It doesn't make me want to watch longer and see how they're like, no, bro. If you give me an ad, give me an ad. So I know it's an ad.
to help recover lost or stolen computers. When activated, TheftTrack could capture 3 things automatically at set time intervals: the device's IP address, a screenshot of the desktop, and a photo taken with the laptop's built-in webcam. There were only 2 people working for the Lower Marion School District that had the administrative access to use these features: IS coordinator Carol Caffiero and network technician Michael Perbix. In 2008, just a year before the school board handed out laptops for students to take home, Perbix would film a training video demonstrating some of the different features of LANREV, including TheftTrack. He also talks about something he describes as curtain mode, which could allow technicians to make use of all these aforementioned monitoring features secretly, without the student knowing that someone was watching them. This brings us back to November 2009.
Like, you gotta think though, why would you want that? Especially outside of school. Like, why would you want the thing where, like, did nobody think further? Like, why would we as adults want to watch what a student is doing on their laptop without them knowing outside of school grounds? Like, there's no, I feel I'm not a lawyer, but there's no way parents would win. They can sue, but would win a lawsuit where a child is doing something on their school provider's laptop outside of school grounds, outside of any school platform, right? Whatever they do, like they may end up on some weird websites, dark web, whatever kids do, bro. Kids are gonna do what kids do, and they're gonna be curious. I don't see how a school would lose that battle in court. So why would you want to monitor them outside of school grounds? Like no adult thought about that further.
15-year-old Blake Robbins has just been handed a photo of himself holding something in front of his face. The assistant vice principal, Lynn Matsko, insists that it's a pill, but Blake says it's a yellow Mike and Ike candy. She further accuses the teen of using and selling drugs, something he adamantly
Wow.
refutes.
Wow.
The angry school official goes on to tell Blake that she's been watching him, not just at school, but at home as well. She says that she's been looking through the webcam on his school laptop and that she's even been reading what he's been typing. She confidently states that she's sure
bro.
he's using and selling.
Ew. Bro, that's fucking disgusting. If she's doing this to this kid, a stranger, by the way, what type of parenting does she even have at home? Because this right here is trying to, bro, do you understand the amount of power she's trying to exert on a young child? This is crazy.
Drugs. Blake at this point is horrified, not because of Matsko's allegations, but rather that she's been so egregiously and casually invading his privacy.
Bruh.
That night, Matsko would call Blake's parents, telling them everything she had spoke to their son about earlier that day. Just like Blake had, his parents asked how she had gotten this photo of Blake with the supposed pill, and Matsko responded telling them that the school district has the ability to remotely activate any student's webcam at any time to view or copy whatever was visible without the consent or knowledge of anyone in the camera's sight. The parents ended the call confirming that Blake had indeed just been eating a box of Mike and Ike's that day, and the teen wouldn't end up facing any punishment at home or at school. But this is just the beginning of the story. 2 months later in February, Blake's family would file a class action lawsuit against the school board.
As they should. Now you see, this is how rich people should use their money. This is how rich people should use their money. I was saying, do good shit. Like, bro, if this was my kid, bro, I'm doing the fucking same. What are you talking about? You're watching my kid at home, and then you're watching other kids at home, minding their own business. Like, bro, that shit is so weird. That's so weird.
Of multiple civil rights laws, digital communications acts, wiretapping laws, and even the Fourth Amendment. For my fellow non-Americans out there, that's the one that protects people against unreasonable search and seizures by government institutions. The suit alleged that the school board had indiscriminately remotely activated what amounted to hidden cameras in students' homes without their consent. Blake may have been the first case to spark this fire, but soon enough, it would burn much brighter than anyone had ever anticipated. For one thing, it wasn't just a single photo that Matsko had captured of Blake. She also had pictures of him sleeping, and others that we probably shouldn't discuss on YouTube.
What? Bro, in what world does it go to? Yo, this is weird. How, as an adult, do you not see this as weird? Yeah, guys, we just have a software that can watch any kid in our school without their consent, without their parents' consent, which it wouldn't matter. If your parents were able to consent to this type of shit, I don't know how to break it to you, buddy. You're cooked. You're cooked. Your parents are crazy. If they were to you know what I would do as a kid if my parents would ever consent to this type of shit? I would have that laptop only in the family room. In the kitchen, whatever. If anything is happening, I would want it to be there as a form of retaliation, bro. If you're gonna take away the privacy of this laptop, one, it's never going in my fucking room. I'm never gonna use it as a personal thing. Now, obviously, I say this because now I'm like, you know what I'm saying? My mind, I can think. But back then, I probably wouldn't do this shit. I'll probably just take it as is, like, fuck. I guess I'm fucked. But yeah, if they're arguing, best believe opening that laptop up, turning it on, and making sure the webcam is in full view. Fuck it. If I gotta be watched, let's all be watched then. If I gotta go down the boat, everybody going down. I probably would have never done that, by the way. Like,
in total, the school board had collected 400 hidden camera photos.
oh my God.
Soon enough, a second student would file a similar lawsuit.
Yo, I thought this was Kobe Bryant for a second. I don't know why. Like, like I looked to my left for a bit as this photo showed up, but I had to. My head snapped back so fast. I thought, like, what the fuck is Kobe doing? R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. I thought it was him for a
against the
second.
school district, Jaleel Hassan. I'll admit, this
Jaleel.
one is quite a bit more disturbing. Matsko had been spying on Blake to find some reason to get him in trouble, but internal school emails revealed that multiple district employees have been taking photos with Jaleel's webcam for entertainment purposes, with one
Oh
employee describing
my
the student's home
gosh.
life as a soap opera. Another employee would respond to that stating, quote,
I know. I love it.
the school board would state that they
Bro, that school's faculty is full of weirdos. That school's faculty is full of weirdos. Oh my fucking gosh. They're just watching kids living their private lives. Bruh.
only remotely activated student webcams a total of 42 times over 14 months, but that figure would soon grow astronomically. By April 2010, just 2 months after Blake's parents
30,000.
initially filed their lawsuit, the school board would admit to taking a total of 30,000 hidden camera photos over the previous 2
Brother,
years.
what are we
With
even
only 2 members
doing?
of staff having the administrative power to activate Theft Track at all, the buck would ultimately stop with them, and Mike Perbix and Carol Cafario would both be placed on administrative leave while the FBI began a criminal investigation. Carol, the IS coordinator, would invoke her Fifth Amendment right and refuse to answer questions during her deposition, something her lawyer would admit, quote,
Looked bad.
Yeah,
In
she a
subsequent court
weirdo.
filing, the same lawyer would argue that Blake had, quote, no legitimate expectation of privacy. They alleged that the student had failed to pay
Wow.
an insurance fee on his laptop and had a history of damaging school property.
Wow. They're pulling the Roblox method. You signed away your rights, gang. You signed away your rights. You as a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, you signed away your rights as soon as you came on our platform or you got this laptop. Crazy. There was no expectation of privacy. What? Brother, what are we saying?
In October of that year, the school board would ultimately agree to a
Man,
$610,000
fuck the settlement. What? Get the faculty out of there, bro. Get the faculty. That Michael Pubix, that whatever shorty's name is, with the glasses. Get them out of here, both of them, and everybody else who had it. Everybody who watched that shit. Get them out of there, bro.
settlement for both Blake and Jaleel's cases. A federal judge would order the school board to halt all remote webcam monitoring. The FBI, however, would not file any criminal charges, stating there wasn't any
What?
evidence that could establish a criminal intent beyond a reasonable
What? Wow. 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 Wow.
doubt, a ruling that the school board was reportedly very pleased with. Regardless of the outcome, this whole debacle proved to be a caution.
Not gonna lie, getting my kids out of there. I don't care about that settle. We're taking that settlement money, going to a different school. Going to a different school. Don't care. We out of there. The school is full of weirdos. We can't just look past that the school, the faculty is full of weirdos. Like we can't, bro, you can't look past that shit. You can't look past that shit.
Tale for the wider public about the nature of school laptops. Dystopian invasions of privacy by state institutions isn't really what people are likely expecting when it comes to children's academic devices, but it does make sense when you think about it. A school laptop isn't very different from a work laptop. I'm sure anybody watching this video
I swear bro, I swear I'm getting that itch. I'm getting that itch that this is gonna be an ad sponsored thing, bro. And I don't hate when YouTube takes sponsors or whatever. Like that shit, I don't hate it. All right. I hate, like I said before, now I don't know if this is gonna actually lead to a sponsor thing, so I'm just yapping to yap. But I hate it when they write scripts where they include the ad or the sponsor within that script. I hate that shit. I hate it so much. Imagine if you were at home, right? What is one of the most popular shows right now? Imagine if fucking the Backrooms, the Odyssey, fucking South Park. Let's take a show because movies happen one time. Shows get multiple episodes. The Simpsons or Family Guy. Imagine if those shows, instead of cutting to commercial breaks, fucking Peter were to say, "Yeah, Lois, just like drinking water, no, 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 no. I got a better one. Yeah, Lois, I really don't like drinking water. I just can't do it well. So I discovered this method by this company called Air Up. Bro, I would never watch Family Guy ever again if they start doing that shit. Instead of cutting to commercial break, they fucking write the ad into the show. I would never watch Family Guy ever again. I don't even watch it right now, but I'm just saying, like back then when I used to watch it, imagine fucking getting a Air Up. This is how I know my accent is, crazy, but I'm talking about Air Up, that brand that talked about that was offering people to smell a flavor in order to drink water. I don't know, some stupid shit, bro. Like, imagine if that shit actually happened. I would never watch that shit ever again. I up for too long about that shit, but that's passion.
Who has a work laptop fully expects it to be chock full of tracking software of all kinds. Maybe not secret webcam recording software, but then again, I'm sure many of you put a little sticker over your webcam when you're not using it. When I had a work laptop, I didn't use it for anything personal. I was aware of the nature of IT
As you
device
should,
management.
yeah.
I knew that if I had some problem with my computer, an IT technician could easily remote desktop into it without my permission. Because I was aware, I can mitigate the privacy risk a work computer could pose. But how many high school students do you think have that sort of knowledge? Or middle school students, or primary school students for that matter? I certainly didn't when I was younger. Moreover, most school employees just kind of expect students to treat their devices horribly, and they likely see it as within their best interest to track as much data as they can in the event a student decides to short-circuit their Chromebook for fun or something. That was an actual TikTok trend, by the way. Let's be clear though, school laptops are not work computers and students aren't employees. Schools also aren't employers, they're state institutions, and the idea of government employees spying on children in their homes without parental consent is something that's going to sound horrible no matter how you spin it. And
Facts.
unfortunately, Lower Merion was far from the end of the story. The incident revolving around the Lower Merion School Board would go on to be known to the public as Webcam Gate, and it would garner a massive amount of attention, leading to several other school boards sunsetting their own IT security solutions that allowed employees to activate student webcams before they too faced class action lawsuits. You have to remember though, this is still the early days of school laptop programs. As the 2010s rolled on, one-to-one school computer programs would start to become ever more common, especially with the introduction of a particular category of low-cost laptop, the Chromebook. If you were born in the 2000s, there's a good chance you were given a Chromebook at some point by your school. These devices run something called Chrome OS, a sandboxed Linux-based operating system that's mostly designed to run Google Web Apps. The locked down and inflexible nature of these devices, combined with their low cost, made them a natural choice for school boards that wanted to try their hand at assigning their students a permanent school device that they could take home with them. And let's not lose sight of the bigger picture, these programs have helped many students in rural and low-income areas who wouldn't otherwise have access to a computer to use for their schoolwork. The whole idea of giving students personal laptops was to make education more equitable, but in execution, it hasn't exactly maintained this sense of idealism. The consequences of one-to-one Chromebook programs has been immense. The sandbox nature of the software has led to younger people not learning essential computer skills like file management, and you can find countless teachers.
And doesn't it also lead to a lot of like waste? Isn't that shit like useless after school? Like there's nothing else you can do with it, I think. Well, if I remember correctly.
On the internet commiserating about students that lack the patience and intuition to perform basic troubleshooting when they run into software problems. Of course, we can't forget about the horrible fates that often befall these cheap academic devices. Go on the tech support core subreddit and you can see the insane conditions some of these Chromebooks get returned in, with some of them even being completely obliterated.
What are you even doing with this?
Everybody knows
bro?
that students treat Chromebooks badly.
Like, what are you doing? Yo, imagine as a parent, you see your kid, he comes to you and says, Dad, Mom, my laptop's kind of broken. And he or she hands you this this monstrosity. You can't even say a laptop anymore of components. What were you even doing, gang? I've dropped laptops. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've dropped laptops. I've dropped a laptop to where the key thingy, the keypad fell out, but you can put it back in. Like this was a cheap laptop. Like I've dropped it and you can put it back in. What are you doing to where the shit can't be fixed again? What are you doing? You just drop it and you're like, damn, I kind of like seeing that shit drop. Then you just kept dropping. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro?
What I
And I
basically
understand,
do-
like, kids are curious, bro. Kids are curious. That's one thing. There's one thing you can't take away. Like, kids are always gonna be curious about shit they shouldn't be, but at the same time should be. Like, they should be curious. What happens if I drop this? Now, usually, if an adult is by, they can either show it safely or explain it. Nobody is there. Kid's gonna do what a kid's gonna do, and that's be curious.
nearly as much is the amount of surveillance schools have on these devices and the students who use them. Webcam monitoring may have become a taboo, but schools definitely didn't stop finding other ways to surveil what students were doing on their laptops and Chromebooks. There's an entire sector of school safety companies that school boards contract to scan student devices for any sort of alarming communications, supposedly in the name of helping at-risk kids. Gaggle is one of these companies. They started off by selling a service that can scan students' emails and documents for certain
It
keywords.
was fucking a terrible name for a surveillance. I mean, I don't want to be sued, but for safety management software, holy fucking shit, Gaggle, nah, bro, nah. Bro. These niggas be knowing why they name their companies certain shit, bro. That name does not sound appealing or anything relating to safety management. Gaggle, the number one safety management software. Gaggle, man, if you don't get your Epstein shit out of here, bro.
They started off by selling a service that can scan students' emails and documents for certain keywords related to bullying and drugs. But as the years rolled by, and especially as AI found its way into every tech product, Gaggle too would make use of this new technology to supercharge their surveillance. By the mid-2020s, they were keeping tabs on almost 6 million students across 1,500 school districts,
Oh my
using
gosh.
techniques that would fit perfectly in the world of 1984. Basically, every piece of text that pops up on the screen of a student's Chromebook
He's referring to that book by George Orwell.
gets scanned for flagged keywords, and an AI system will perform a sentiment analysis to flag any phrases that are communicating flagged ideas or information. Again, this is all done in the name of student safety. Everything gets logged in real time without the student's knowledge. The software even incorporates ODR to copy text from images and videos that appear on the screen. There is no getting around the surveillance. If anything gets flagged by the AI, it then gets passed off to a human employee for review, who are supposed to assess the context of these reports and toss out false positives such as raunchy song lyrics and passages from literature. If the employee does approve a report, however, it then gets passed off to school officials, and sometimes they even go directly to law enforcement. In 2022, the Center for Democracy and Technology would run a national survey gathering data from teachers, parents, and students about these surveillance systems, and the results were disturbing. While these companies and school boards claim to keep tabs on their students' digital activities in the name of their safety, the survey found that 78% of teachers said students were mostly flagged for disciplinary violations, just like Blake Robbins was all the way back in 2010. Only 54% of teachers said that they had seen this monitoring lead to students getting referred to counseling. Even worse, Gaggle's keyword list had historically contained the terms gay and lesbian, leading to cases of still closeted
Yo, they just can't leave these niggas alone. Damn.
students getting outed because school employees got a glimpse into their private life through their Chromebook. 13% of students who responded to the survey said that either they or someone they knew were outed as a result of Chromebook surveillance.
Bro, this goes back
2020.
again. Like, how are you, as an adult, don't see this as weird? I understand to a certain degree like the safety management pitch and idea. But now we're like, we can see like they went above and beyond. They crossed multiple lines. Like, how do you not see it as, okay, yeah, nah, this shit is getting weird? Uh, Again, this just trying to exert power on kids.
A Tennessee 8th grader made an offensive joke while chatting online with her classmates in a private group chat on her Chromebook. Gaggle flagged the interaction, and within a couple hours, police arrived at her school and put her under arrest. She was interrogated, subject to a humiliating search, and spent the night in a jail cell. She'd
Damn.
end up getting sentenced to 8 weeks house arrest, with her family maintaining that the remarks that triggered this whole thing were simply a joke made in poor taste by a child, only intended to be shared with a couple of her friends. A 2025 class action lawsuit by students in Lawrence, Kansas, characterized the service offered by Gaggle as a, quote, sweeping suspicionless monitoring program, something that violated their First and Fourth Amendment rights. Look, I'm sure you can tell by my tone in this video exactly what I think of all this. I'm not going to tell you what you should think. I'm sure these companies have helped some students as well. Regardless though, you can't argue against the importance for parents and students to be aware of the nature of modern school computers. For students watching this, the Chromebook or iPad or laptop might be in your possession, but make no mistake, it is very much not yours. If you wouldn't say it out loud directly to your teacher or principal, you absolutely should not write it in your Chromebook. It's unfortunate,
Facts.
but you have to have the expectation that everything going into these machines is being read by somebody. For parents watching, if your child has some sort of school device, have a discussion with them about it. It's important for them to make the distinction between a truly personal device that they fully own themselves.
Don't fucking watch porn on your Chromebook, okay? Don't do it. They know, they can see it. Doesn't matter how you found a way to get to the porn. Just don't do it. It's not get your phone out. And speaking from experience, it doesn't matter how you went past everything. It doesn't matter if you got advice on fucking YouTube and Reddit to bypass Chrome OS security. Put other software on there. Stop doing shit. Yo, all jokes, of course.
And one
Jokes.
that's merely been loaned to them by a private company or an institution. They might not always have your child's best interests at heart. That was certainly the case for Blake Rom's Anjali Hassan. I was lucky enough to grow up during a time when this just wasn't really much of a problem. Though, maybe if I was born in a certain wealthy Philadelphia suburb, that might not have been the case. Guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Subscribe if you want to watch more content like this, and follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up with me off YouTube. I've been trying to be more active there.
What could you possibly be posting on? Wait, Brian. My fault, Brody. Yo, Farrell McGuire. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. My fault. My fault, Brody. I don't know why I just reacted that way. I'm like, oh, what could you be posting? What could you be posting that would be interesting to me? Yo, I am hoeing. I'm hoeing. You know why I had that reaction? Because a lot of my friends or even strangers that you meet, like at parties or whatever, wherever you're meeting people, and they're like, follow my Instagram, follow this. And then when you go to it, them motherfuckers don't post. I'm not expecting you to post every day or every week. My god damn, bro, you don't post nothing. You don't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that's funny or interesting that on your Instagram that would lead me to say, oh, hey, let me follow you. That's why I had that knee-jerk reaction. And I apologize, Farrell McGuire, for having that knee-jerk reaction. Yo, bro, my instant thing was like, what the fuck are you posting that would leave? Yo, I'm a hoe, bro. I'm a hoe. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
And of course, have a good night.
Hey, good night. Hey, shout out his patrons as well. I'm gonna let that play out too. But this was a fucking, this was an interesting video. I feel like, I don't know if there's other cases, but I would have loved to hear more cases about this. And again, I will say again, that student, faculty, student, whatever shit, school faculty should all be fucking fired, bro. It's Chiyotsu, and I'm out of here.